Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming up this week, Bob Iger and Disney file a patent to take pictures of your feet, and then he turned around and laid off a bunch of Imagineers. Also, tree-hugging hippies are suing SeaWorld. We'll tell you more about that. And a little later on, we'll have our review of the newly reimagined Flying Fish at Disney's Boardwalk. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 903 for the week of August 8th, 2016. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. There's just so many URLs to remember. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Warner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi.
Hi, everybody.
Kevin Close.
Hi, everyone.
Kathy Whirling.
Hi, everybody.
Corey Martin.
Just happy to be here.
And back in the production nook, our very own associate producer, Rhino Clavin.
Hello.
And our lovely and talented producer, Mr. Craig Williams.
Hello.
And Oliver Green is over in Epcot. He'll be joining us a little later on. But first, we have some things to discuss in housekeeping. First of all, if you're spending any time on any of our social media or the Diz or the boards or you get the... Anywhere, you'll notice that there are these ads showing up to order your Disney World trip planning DVDs. This is something that we were approached with. We're not the only site, but we were approached with last week, I think it was. Yeah. To start putting these on the site. And Disney's actually paying pretty handsomely for these. So, if you really want to help us out, go order one of these DVDs. They're free, the trip planning DVDs, and you help us, and you get a lovely DVD in exchange. www.info.com/dvd.html. Right? HTM. And we'll have a link to it in the show notes page, but I'm just going to do a blatant plug at the very beginning for those because, hey, it's good advertising. So head over there, check that out, help us out.
Can I also say, too, they're free, but there's also an opt-out option if you don't want to get solicitations and emails from Disney, which is a really nice option there.
Yeah, but if you're a Disney fan and you travel to Disney World,
right.
You don't want to do that,
right.
And here's why. Yeah. Here's why. Those are the lists they use to target who's going to get special offers. They still do a lot of that, where they target out for discount codes and things like that. So, if you're one of the people that tends not to get those offers and you wonder why you see on the boards, somebody else got an offer and I didn't, why? That's definitely one of the lists you want to be on for that, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to look at the people who order the vacation planning videos, say this is somebody with an interest. Let's see if we can't, especially right now. We're going to talk about this in a little bit in the news. If you were watching last week, what I said was going to start happening is starting to happen. And so
that actually has to do with my rapid fire.
Right. We're going to see a lot more of that. And again, we'll talk more about it in the news. But this is one of the ways you get on that list. Get yourself on that list.
One more thing about the DVDs, that it's offered only for Walt Disney World and Disneyland. You can order both. You can order either one. So take your pick.
Now, I saw it come up for Aulani Cruise Line ABD. No? I could
The two on that link are only World and Disneyland.
World and Land? Okay. But, so yeah, www.info.com/dvd.htm, and you can order them. They're free, and we get paid. Every time you order one, we get paid. So, there. Also, want to remind you of the shows we have coming up this week. One of them went up, or two of them went up yesterday. The Dreams Unlimited Travel Show every Monday. disunplugged.com. And what was our topic this week?
This week we talked about groups, continuing our series on booking group space. We did Disney Cruise Line and Adventures by Disney. We bundled those two things together. And then next week we're going to be doing Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. What happens is once we get into other cruise lines, group space becomes much more fun and also beneficial to folks.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of broken the shows up this way to show you what you can actually get when you look at other places.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, Royal Caribbean actually wants groups.
Right.
Disney like actively shuns them.
And what's interesting is as a travel agent, when you call Royal Caribbean, anybody who calls Royal Caribbean, you know what the first thing they say is? We recommend the use of a travel agent.
Oh, yeah. Well, Royal Caribbean, I think it's like 80% of their business comes from travel agents. So that's a big part of it. But, yeah, they're very travel agent forward with Royal Caribbean. So
I also want to remind people we're still running the Dreams Unlimited Travel Alani contest. You have until August 15th to get in your responses and your answers to our questions so that you can be part of the drawing to win a trip to Alani. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at the August. Go back and look at the July shows.
What month is it?
I have no idea what month it is. Go back and look at the July shows, and there's all the instructions as well as the questions on those.
There are a
programs.
great many people out there who hope you don't do that.
Exactly.
Because that just means more entries.
right, exactly.
Entries.
There you go. All right. Also, every Monday, disunplugged.com, the Disneyland edition of the Dis Unplugged with host Tom Bell and his team. On this week's show, Nancy and Tom review the Frozen pre-show package. I guess this is for the new Frozen show at California Adventure. There must be a pre-show package. And Mary Jo and Nancy talk about their recent visits to Universal Studios Hollywood. Head over to disunplugged.com where you will find that show. You can, of course, also subscribe to them on iTunes. And every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Live, disunplugged.com, the Universal edition of the Dis Unplugged with your host, Craig Williams, and the Craigettes, Oliver and Rhino. What are you talking about this week, Craig? Do you even know?
No, I don't know because Rhino is deciding to take vacation.
I know.
So kind of ruining everything with that. And Oliver's going to be at a media event seeing the brand new Disney Princess this Thursday.
He demanded to go to that, right?
He actually did.
Yeah.
He did. So
He said, I'll quit if you don't send me.
So everyone's just kind of abandoned me on Thursday. So I don't.
Well, he doesn't ask me to do anything. So
Well, it would
he doesn't
just-
want
it
me on
would-
the show. No, that's fine. Really, it's okay.
It would still only be you and I.
I'm withdrawing my love and support.
This is going to be
no.
his network moment. He's going to be mad as hell, and he's going to lock the doors and windows.
Or
And
his
just,
between two ferns moment.
is that what it is going to be?
So we'll figure that
All
out.
right, so there may not be a Universal show this week. Who knows?
It's all Rhino's fault.
Your guess is
He
as
thinks-
good as ours. And of
Is this
course,
really an option? Because no one told me that this was an option.
no, it's really not.
Okay.
But I just say that to make him feel good and let people think that I'm a very flexible boss. But actually, if there is no Universal show this week, he'll be beaten. But also every Friday-ish, Diz Pop with Rhino Clavin and Oliver Green and sometimes other people. What are you doing this week, Rhino?
I'm going to have 2 episodes. One is going to be the Haunted Mansion Disney Parks comic is over, so I'm going to review that thing as a whole in one episode. And then the other episode, I believe Craig is going to join me, and we're going to be talking about the Netflix show Stranger Things that has really kind of taken off and been a throwback to a lot of amazing 80s movies, and people have requested to hear our thoughts on it. And I would love to give my thoughts because it's a great show.
Oh, I guess you just gave your thoughts, so we just saved people their trouble. of
It's more
downloading your
it's more
show.
intricate than that.
When
He's
do
going
I
to glue popsicle sticks together or something.
when do I get to do a show where I read a magazine?
Anytime you want.
Anytime you want to be on Diz Pop, we do magazine reads every other week.
Amazing.
Cosmo.
Those are the quizzes.
Test.
This week's show.
How to use your breast to get a better apartment.
All right. Also, last week we put out a poll. We were discussing
Ooh, I can't wait.
the changes or the proposed changes to the refillable mugs, and of course, anything having to do with refillable mugs puts everybody on edge. So for those who weren't following, then they're testing out refillable mugs with no handles. And so this has caused great controversy in the lives of many. So we asked the question, handles, no handles, or both? We had over 2,000 responses to the poll, and by a mile, the number one response was "Give me a choice." We want both options, and we hashtagged that Team Wishy Washy. That was 53% of the vote.
Wow.
Went to offer both options. 28% of you said keep the mugs the way they are. We dubbed them Team Handle. And 19% of you said lose the handle. It fits better in my cup holder, and that's Team Handleless. So, yeah, Team Wishy Washy, 53%. So Disney has its answer. They don't have to continue with this test. Just offer both.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And they'll probably sell more of them because you'll have people that'll buy the handle ones at the resort because it's easier to carry around when you're getting breakfast in the morning and stuff like that, and then buy one take home that you can fit in your cup holder. So let's see both of them. That's what the people want. They have spoken.
So will Disney listen?
Do they ever?
It sounds like Les Mis. Will they listen?
So, all right, that's all I have for housekeeping. Anybody, anything else?
Kevin and I will not be here for how many weeks?
A month and a half?
Probably. We have comics to read. We'd get caught up.
I have to do that this
We have
week.
to talk about the new Kool-Aid flavor we like.
Hey, that got a lot of really good feedback.
Pepsi Clear or whatever
You'd
it
be
is.
surprised what drives traffic.
I was surprised
Apparently
that 2,000 people wanted
ectoplasm.
to talk about the mug, so...
Ectoplasm.
Ecto Cooler.
Ecto-cooler. Sorry. Is there anything else for housekeeping? Really?
Well, I'll say thank you to the people that sent me the Ecto Cooler in the mail. And there
And
was
then he just got a box of Twinkies and...
that's Cindy. Yeah, she was at the meet. She was very wonderful. And she sent Craig and Oliver and myself and anybody who wanted some of the Ghostbuster key lime slime and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Twinkies and
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Twinkies were very, very good. That slime crap was, I just caught myself, was awful. That was
did not
disgusting. But,
I
yeah.
just realized he's got a Tervis.
I did.
does
I
have
have
a
to let
Tervis.
you know. I have gotten emails about Tervis. Tervis liked a tweet I was mentioned in. I didn't know Tervis existed before last week's show, and all of a sudden,
I didn't even realize I owned one. I bought this in the Coke store. Not to be confused with the meth store. But no, I love this. I drink out of it all the time. And that's fine when I'm here. When I'm staying at a resort,
it should have a handle.
I want it, yes, because you usually you're going to carry it around and you got other stuff with you.
Are we
if, like,
stretching, or are we really interested in this?
if you have if you have a family, I got a ton of emails about it this week. You know, when you go in to go get coffee for your family or juice for your family, you're carrying 4 of these mugs, and you can pretty much do that with one hand if it has a handle. You can't do that if it's...
And if you look on the side over here at Pete, switch to Pete.
oh, switch me.
It says "Screw you, Hydro Flask."
I love this mug.
Well,
I love my
I've
Coke
actually
Zero.
heard from Tervis themselves.
Wow.
They
I knew we were going.
I
there.
believe they like to tweet. Somebody mentioned I've been sent pictures of Tervis. I got an in-depth
Scantily
explanation.
clad?
I got an in-depth explanation of how they were made and why they're superior to other double-walled insulated glassware.
Just can't. I don't think I can. I think I need that break now.
So, all right, we'll turn it over to Johnny with the news.
All right. Very serious news, you know? About time you got
More
to me.
serious than handled mugs?
Much more serious than Tervis. Disney patents foot recognition technology to track guests. Disney has recently filed a patent for a way to scan guests' shoes and to use that data to customize visitors' theme park experiences. This patent is, quote, a system and method using foot recognition to create a customized guest experience, end quote. Disney does not have any plans to currently implement the technology. Company spokeswoman Susie Brown said, quote, in our ongoing effort to relentlessly innovate,
Blah, 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 blah.
relentlessly innovate and push the boundaries of creativity and technology to create immersive experiences and legendary guest service, we file many patents annually. Some come to fruition and others do not. The machine would apparently photograph guests' feet as they come into the park. Those photos would be put together and put on a website called, if you're a Disney foot freak, visit me. No, I apologize. Those photos would be put together with voluntarily shared demographic information like name, age, and hometown. The LA Times says, quote, later in the park, another camera aimed at shoe level can identify a person at a ride or eatery based on the earlier foot photo.
Judge you.
So what's the purpose of something like this? According to Dennis Spiegel, president of International Theme Park Services in Cincinnati, quote, the advantage of the foot camera is that it is a less invasive way to track customers and gather information than taking photographs of faces throughout the park.
Yeah, this whole thing about improving guest experience is a load of crap. And so it's also a load of crap that we have no plans to use it. Yeah, you do. Not showing up in the LA. This is not showing up in the LA Times if there's something other than just a patent filing going on.
Just relentless patent filing.
We're relentless patent filing. Remember when Magic Bands came out, how they said, under no circumstances are we going to use the RFID technology to track you.
Well, don't you remember they
track-
originally said it was going to be a retina scan? And everybody kind of went, no.
Well, I'm just specifically, that was a big concern people had, that they were going to be tracked on the RFID chip that was in a Magic Band. And Disney said, no, we are not going to do that. And they are true to their word. They are not going to do that. Now they're going to take pictures of your damn feet.
Is it okay to bring an extra pair of shoes to the park?
Really mess with them?
Really
Yeah.
screw it.
Yeah.
Well, I think granted, I have big feet, but I wear Reebok sneakers that are readily available
Right.
everywhere
Yeah.
and white tennis socks. I can't believe I'm an anomaly, that there might be more than one pair of the same model of Nike or Reebok tennis shoes in the park. And I think,
But maybe like the customized experience, like if you're like, say you walk in and you're wearing sandals and you go and you buy like a Mickey hat or a shirt, and then the cast member says, well, would you like a pair of toenail clippers? I think that could be, that could enhance your vacation.
all right, you need a trip to the boutique.
Yeah, this is all part of, the part you guys don't see is the part where how this information is used. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this per se. For a company to take the information it has at its disposal to try and make better marketing decisions and make better decisions about what it sells, how it sells it, where it sells it. That's part of doing business. But there's something about this other than just the whole feet thing. There is something about this that just creeps me out.
I agree. I think that's sort of like stepping over the line.
And if you take a look, if you go back to that slide that has the graphic that was filed with the patent, it looks like someone is like standing in front of a machine for the purpose of this picture to be taken, because the turnstiles aren't backed up enough as it is.
It says
So
robot.
now, after you navigate the rocket science, apparently, that is holding your Magic Band up to an orb and putting your finger in something, now you have to stop and get a glamour shot of your shoes. So that's not going to impact anything, because we all know how easy it is for people to go into a theme park and pass through a turnstile. Even when you take the turnstiles away, there's still it's just too hard, apparently. So unless they have a way to put Magic Bands in your shoes and you just walk into the park and you don't have to stop, I don't see how this does anything other than give them marketing information. And at some point, it just gets to be a bit too much. And I think this is, we're going to get to it in one of our other stories, but this is part of that tone deafness I was talking about last week. That the image that's being created, that they've had so much success, ridiculous success for so long, that they have literally tuned out what's being said. because they're in this insulated. It's almost like they're in this soundproof bubble of their own, and they're not hearing what's coming back at them, and they're not going to hear it until the bubble bursts. And I think it may be.
And is this going to? I question whether this will be attached to your annual pass and whether you then have to wear the same shoes every time you go. One of the good things about this is it could siphon out those psychos who show up at the park in high heels. There would be just a net. No, sorry, no. No.
I mean, the women who show up in the 6-inch stilettos.
Right. Who about 4 o'clock you sit on Main Street and you watch them limp?
Yeah, really.
I can see, I'm still not a real big fan of magic bands, but I can see that you get a benefit back from
Sure.
a magic band. I don't see what you get from them tracking your
There's
feet.
no benefit to the guest for this whatsoever. This is all for Disney's tracking demographics and marketing.
They claim that it's for to help with character meet and greets, send you photos on rides, and have extra cast members at a busy attraction, and to call marketing data.
Yeah, sure.
So that's that last
Okay,
thing.
you explain to me how a picture of my shoes is going to accomplish any of those things other than them just tracking where I
like the
go
fact
for
that They're
marketing.
going to send you pictures via email. At what cost? Because you saw my shoes?
The only benefit I could see from this, and I wouldn't want to do it, but I mean, the only benefit I could see was like maybe tracking lost kids. You can almost do that with magic bands too, but I think Ferris has a pair in every lake around Disney property because he takes them off and throws them in. I mean, he doesn't take his shoes off, but that's it. That's all I can see.
I
To
mean,
be
unless
honest.
they're getting you to take your shoes off and actually walk around barefoot, I don't understand how. I mean, there's a limited number of shoes in the world, and your children are all. There's lots of children in the park wearing similar shoes. Maybe I just don't understand the technology. It just seems dumb.
I just want to have everybody get together and say, on this day, we're all going to wear this kind of shoe. And what's that going to do?
Here, wear white Nikes. Let's really screw with their system.
Should have body odor sensors where your magic band lets you know if like you can hop in line with people that really smell because that happened
Or
last
be
week.
able to look at you and say, you are going to walk 4 across down the middle of a crowded walkway. So I'm sorry, the answer is no.
All right.
All right, our second news story. Imagineers laid off after dumb idea of taking pictures of people's feet and using their Oh, that's not the right question.
You're not allowed to make up the news.
I'm just
You are not
the
Fox News.
Ooh, man.
Kevin at
Really?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Imagineers laid off after opening of Shanghai Disneyland. Staff reductions have taken place this week at Walt Disney Imagineering in a combination of voluntary departures and layoffs. According to the OC Register, voluntary severance packages were offered to senior staffers, those with longer terms of service, or nearing retirement.
read more expensive.
Or people who didn't want their feet photographed.
Also, as part of an ongoing reorganization, under new company president Bob Weiss, several people at Walt Disney Imagineering have been moved to other areas in the company. Some of these positions are at lower pay levels. The staff had been increased while the company was working on the design and opening of Shanghai Disneyland, but now that the project has been completed, not as many employees are needed. A Disney spokesman said, quote, Walt Disney Imagineering is a project-based organization, and we continually evaluate and adjust our resources to support the design and development of theme parks, resorts, and experiences around the globe. An exact number of reductions was not released, but before the reduction, Walt Disney Imagineering employed more than 2,000 designers and engineers. Disney did say, quote, the number of layoffs was a low single-digit
You're having
percentage.
trouble today.
He's already on vacation.
We are still, didn't get enough sleep from the flight, and then we're still getting caught up, so
Just in time to get on a plane and
go back again.
go to Europe.
What I find interesting is something we kind of joked about. Okay, so you have a lot of Imagineers because of Shanghai, but we're going to get rid of our older, more experienced Imagineers.
Yeah,
Why don't
again-
you get rid of the new ones you just hired to bring on for Shanghai?
I feel like my job more and more every week is to translate Disney press releases into English. Look, if this happened in a bubble, if this was the only story lately about layoffs or about financial issues, I might buy that, okay, we hired all these people for Shanghai. Well, then you would get rid of the people you hired for Shanghai.
Right.
When you're getting rid of senior people, when you're getting rid of people close to retirement, you're getting rid of the expensive people. That's what you're doing. And you're doing that because money's an issue.
Right.
The same way you lay off 200 people in management at Walt Disney Travel last month. You don't do that when money's not an issue. The same way they reported in their second quarter that attendance was down at the parks. Parks is a big driver of revenue for the company. And the third quarter report is coming out tonight. And the prediction is it's going to be another bad one.
It doesn't look like the fourth quarter is shaping up very well either.
No, it doesn't.
There's more on that later.
And then we talk about the discounts. We talk about all the, I talked about it last week. Disney's putting out a lot of, and great. That's great for us. That's great for us. We've got another discount just came out yesterday. I think it was announced that Kevin's going to talk about in a little bit. Another rapid fire this week is about Tables in Wonderland and something unprecedented that they're doing with Tables in Wonderland. This is all part of it. So, it's too soon yet for me to, really say definitively, in my opinion, that the bubble has burst. But, a recession is gauged by 3 quarters of negative growth. That's how economists determine whether the country is in a recession. And I think it will be safe to say when we hear Disney's third and fourth quarter reports by the end of the year, we will know. If we have 2 more quarters of negative growth at the theme parks, then it's safe to say that the bubble may have burst. In which case, there's going to have to be a reorganization of how things are done. And a lot of this tone deafness that has been pervasive for the last several years. Because Disney is an organization that does not learn unless they're burned. A lot of things changed when the economy crashed in 2008. A lot of things changed. That was the last time they did mass layoffs, by the way. I'm not calling this mass layoffs. It's not mass layoffs yet, but don't think for a second that couldn't be next. One more bad quarter in theme parks, and you can damn well be absolutely assured that there will start being big layoffs. They're going to pare back staff before they start taking too much of a hit in their stock. So, but we have other things to talk about, but we are going to come to those 2 things, I believe.
I just want to say one thing about that. I talked about it for just a second. This falls under short-sightedness on Disney's part. I get that the people who've been there longer make more money, they have more benefits. However, with Imagineering, it's those seasoned employees who are the ones who have the legacy of the company, who know what's been done in the past.
Well, let's be honest. The legacy went out the window years ago.
I think there are still Imagineers who have the legacy.
No, I'm saying the Imagineers have it, but the desire for that at senior management doesn't exist.
So now you're going to be left with people who have not been there as long, who don't understand it, who don't understand, what goes into it, and then you wind up with an inferior product.
And you're doing this at a time when your biggest competitor, at least here in Orlando, has been effectively kicking your butt up and down the I-4 corridor and is poised to continue to do that for at least the next few years. And you've got somebody in Universal that's innovating and aggressive, and you're taking some of your best brain trust from the area of the company that creates the stuff that makes your theme parks what they are, and you're showing them the door. Tone deaf and short-sighted. I think short-sighted is a great word for it. But that's why, I've said before, Disney has left a loophole in their strategy that Universal is driving a truck through right now. And they keep making that loophole, that gap, that opportunity bigger and bigger and bigger with every one of these stories I read. I don't know that this changes until Bob Iger is out, and a new guy has to come in and turn things around. Because I'll guarantee you a couple more quarters, like the last one, and what I'm pretty sure is going to be reported in this one, a couple more quarters like that, and Bob's going to be like, oh, hey, you know what? Oh, it's time for me to go.
Yep.
Let me get out before this whole thing collapses around me, and let's leave it to the next guy. But they got to find the next guy, because the next guy that they had, they said, we may not be too interested in you. We may not be that into you. So what does he do? He picks up his marbles and he goes home. I don't blame him for doing that at all. He had every right to. All he wanted was the board to say, yes, you're the successor. But the board wasn't willing to do that. And now they're going to need to find, if this keeps up, they're going to need to find a miracle worker. Because it's starting to get ugly. It's starting to get concerning. Again, as fans, this works for us because we're going to start seeing discounts and offers that we haven't seen in a while. It's already started, and it's only going to get better. So for the fans, it's great. For the long-term health of this thing that we love, maybe not so much. So, all right, I'll stop.
All right, our third and final news story. Judge allows false advertising suit against SeaWorld to move forward. United States District Judge Jeffrey White has denied SeaWorld's request to dismiss a pending false advertising lawsuit against the company. The suit was filed by Mark Anderson and 3 other plaintiffs who believe SeaWorld was not as focused on conservation and animal welfare as they claimed to be. The plaintiffs will now be allowed to refile a more detailed complaint. Excuse me. Anderson.
Hold on a second. I want everyone to pay attention to what John is about to read. Okay? Because this absolutely blew me away that this was allowed to go through. But go ahead.
Anderson alleges that he purchased tickets and visited SeaWorld San Diego in 2014 based on orca lifespan and breeding information provided on the company's website. He now believes that the information on the website was not true and says that he would not have purchased tickets had he known the truth. Another plaintiff purchased a plush Shamu based on what she now believes was misinformation from a SeaWorld trainer regarding the whale's collapsed dorsal fin.
Okay. Oh my God. Are you OMFG? Okay?
Mommy, Daddy, what does F stand for in that?
Fabulous.
Fun.
It wasn't enough that these dishonest, despicable people put out that hit piece on SeaWorld. It wasn't enough. So now, because they're not going to be happy until they put SeaWorld out of business. And then you have this is such BS. And it's obvious BS. And how this made it past a judge blows my mind. I bought a plush based on I bought a plush Shamu doll based on information that a trainer told me about an orca's dorsal fin, and now I've been injured. Oh, please, for the love of God.
I think it's even better. I think the guy who went to SeaWorld because of their conservation efforts wants his money back. Let's see, I can go anywhere in the world. It's not because of the rides. It's not because of the shows.
Or maybe this is what, maybe the judge is like, oh, yeah, you know what? I am going to let this go through because I'm going to enjoy watching these people get made fools out of in court. But, I don't know.
I think false advertising would be, listen, you're going to come and you're going to see.
No,
ride the
false
best rides,
advertising
they're all
is
closed.
false advertising is come on this day and the price is $69 and you get there and the price is $99. That's false advertising.
Or everybody goes home with a whale.
Yeah, really.
Correct. Plush whale.
Everybody on Tuesday gets their own orca.
I'd like to return my orca because the dorsal fin isn't right. Yes, sir.
And
this is
SeaWorld
crazy.
has not commented on the current lawsuit because they're too busy laughing or shaking their heads going, what the hell? Tree-hugging hippies. I despise the extreme left as much as I do the extreme right. And this is a ultra left-wing hit job. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting. It's a waste. It's a waste. So you don't agree with SeaWorld. I respect that. You don't agree with the captivity of orcas. I respect that. Don't go. Don't go. Don't give them your money. That's your option. But no. The world has to conform to exactly what we believe because we're right and everybody else is wrong. And I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on, that thinking is messed up. That thinking is good for you and how you live your life and what your choices are. You have no right to force that on me. None. It drives me insane. Drives me absolutely insane.
I would like to hear the testimony of the woman who got the misinformation of the trainer about the dorsal fin and what convinced her to buy a plush.
That's got to be some conversation.
It's in my head. I can't even make the connection.
Well, I mean, it's like, I want to sue Disney because I bought a Mickey plush, and then I just realized that, there are no 4-foot rats in the world. I've been misled.
It's just like, why aren't they like, okay, ma'am, fine, here's $10. Give us the plush. Like that.
Well, because
how is this a lawsuit,
I think because they probably thought you poor thing is off his meds.
Emotionally damaged.
Well, it doesn't sound to me like she even went and said, I want my money back for this plush.
Right.
She went right to filing a lawsuit.
I'll guarantee you that's what
This
happened.
reeks of PETA.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. No,
And
there's no
hummus.
question.
Right.
And hummus.
That goes without saying. This is no question that Pete is behind this. There's no question in my mind that Pete is behind this. So I just,
Yeah. We're returning our baby Dory plush because it's not as cute as the animated.
She doesn't really speak
Well,
well.
no. Don't return it. Sue.
So, okay.
Sue Disney for
I'll do
it.
that.
My plush doesn't speak.
This doesn't accurately represent what you showed me in the movie.
This one doesn't talk.
Okay, go to. Are we done?
That'll do it for the news.
Okay. Woof. We need some of your blood pressure medication. All right, so before we move on to rapid fire, we have some random British person wandering around Epcot.
Spinning around like
He's home.
Hello.
It's Doctor Who.
he hates that show.
Oh, yeah, I can't stand Doctor Who.
No, I think my name for him is better. Mary Poppins.
Here you go.
Yeah. People have been asking to take their photos with me. I should get a T-shirt made up with it on the front, Mary Poppins.
So, let me guess, you're in the UK pavilion at Epcot.
What gave it away?
I don't know, those funny phone booths you people use.
It's, they've turned a lot of them into Wi-Fi hotspots in England now. But yeah, we still do have them, and they're very traditional. So I thought I'd come to Epcot because I was feeling a little bit homesick. So, yeah.
So, what are you doing? Don't
far,
make
this
me
is
work.
fascinating,
for these-
Oliver.
Oliver, as we discussed, for these segments, don't make me work. Okay, so what are you doing?
I am exploring Epcot, actually. I'm actually doing a video on just how British, is the English pavilion. So that is why I'm currently in the Epcot pavilion.
Are they voting to leave
pavilion
Epcot?
Here in Epcot.
Can we make him do things?
You can, yeah, if you want to.
Find a stranger and take their plush.
I'm not doing that.
Can you go find the most expensive sword they sell in the store?
What was that, sorry?
Go find the most expensive sword they sell in the store. I'm on a Game of Thrones kick right now. So.
Okay, we'll go in the store.
Oh, a little late to the party there, aren't you?
No, I'm on season 5. We're
Yeah,
good.
but you binge watch.
Of course.
Oh, so there he is. He's
Yeah.
he's actually in a store.
Shopping with Olive.
There we
Abducting
go.
children.
So, before I get over there, actually, I will show you this. I found this this nice suit of armor, but it's really small. So I'm assuming it's like for Peter Dinklage or someone.
We should go up to a salesperson and ask if they have it in your size. Can I get this?
Okay.
Can I get this in my size?
There you go. It's just there's no one free at the minute.
Oh, just look at the prices. I was just making you do stuff.
No, I want him to go ask if they have that suit of that coat of arms in it, or that.
And can you walk out with the sword?
We go on.
And then I want you to buy the sword, and I want you to wield it all around Epcot.
run through the streets going, I'm the King of England, I'm the King
Or
of
run
England.
through the streets screaming, winter is coming.
Yeah, winter's coming.
I like this new segment a lot.
Make Oliver do
Wait,
stuff
that-
in the parks.
Oh no. What did I?
I'm waiting.
I'm going to ask for you, Pete. I'm going to ask.
Oliver waits in line.
I want to know how. Do you have that suit in my size?
Hi, I'm really sorry to bother you. I've actually got my boss on a call right now.
Tell them we're here.
Suit of armor over there. He's wondering if you actually sell them or not.
No, I said, do you have it in my size?
Ah.
So I'm not the suit of armor. You'd have to talk to the ladies next door. But we do sell shields, swords, and shields.
Do you think they'd have it in my size though if we were to sell it? Just out of conflict? Potentially.
This might be my new favorite thing.
They're going to get the same answer. Okay, I'm going to head over there now and we'll find out. Thank you. Sorry to bother you. There you have it.
This gives me so many ideas.
Oh,
I don't like this game at all. This isn't fun anymore.
Oh no, you're permanently in theme parks on Tuesdays.
Oh, no, it'd be so much more fun if you make Rhino do it. You know that.
No.
well, we have other plans.
Well, you
for
know,
Rhino.
Steve Porter's coming back in
yeah.
September. I don't think I've announced that on the show. I mentioned it at Mega Meet, but I didn't mention it on the show. Steve Porter's coming back in September, so we can make him do this. That'll
Oh,
be
poor
fun.
Steve. You can't do that to Steve. He's too nice.
So are
He'll just be
you.
there, awkward laughing like he does, doing the.
How's it go again?
Wow, he's gonna love that. He's gonna love that. All right, Oliver, enjoy. Thanks for being a good sport. And enjoy the rest of your day in Epcot.
Yeah, I'm going to go and run into a different pavilion now because I'm getting looks from everyone. So I'm glad you've enjoyed it. It's been
Next week we
thoroughly
have
awkward
questions for
me.
France.
Why do you quit so often?
Yeah, really. Go make the French surrender. Okay.
Bye, Oliver.
Bye, Oliver.
Goodbye.
Thanks. If you're French, we're just joking. We love you.
Look, we have like 3 listeners from France, and they're all American expats. So, all right, that was fun. I
Also, the
enjoyed
most
that.
expensive sword is $595. I looked. I just wanted to see if you could find it. And we're back.
We're back.
Just what Corey needs swords now to add to his
Yeah,
arsenal.
really. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we are going to move on to rapid fire. We'll throw it over to you, Johnny.
All right. I just found out that the Fort Wilderness cabins are for sale. These are
Can you believe this?
I know. This is
Yeah.
actually kind of cool.
I was all excited
I'm
about
like-
it until I read the fine print.
Yeah.
So just real quick, they did a rehab of the Fort Wilderness cabins. They also took some out to make room for new campsites. So apparently, the actual Fort Wilderness cabins have wound up in a place called Nature's Resort in Homosassa, Florida. This is 90 miles northwest of Walt Disney World. You can buy them for $20,000 each. This is as of August 1st.
Fully furnished.
There were about 10 left for sale.
Yeah.
Now, the terms and conditions are you cannot move it. You have to leave it there at their resort on one of their sites, and then there's a site fee of about $5,000 a year.
That has to be paid in one lump sum
Yes.
every year.
Which, you know, their rules are their rules, whatever.
And you can't
But
rent it out, right?
That's what bothered me. If you could rent it out, I would have bought one and just put it on the website to rent out to people. But I think it's kind of cool if this is what you're interested in.
Oh, and if people hear strange noises, it's because for the first time,
Rhino's
Abby,
tap dancing.
Yeah, Rhino's tap dancing.
I'm working hard.
Abby, for the first time, is in the studio. while
She's
we're
right here
recording.
at my feet, and all of a sudden she just realized she has a tail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She does. Yeah, she loves her tail. So yeah, and I know you want to see her. She's 70 pounds. I'm not picking her up. But yeah, she's floating around. This is her first time in the studio for the show.
She's being a good girl.
She's
Yeah,
so
she
good.
is.
Well, she's finally calmed down. We can do this with her now. But
They
so-
had those
and
cabins.
She just turned 2, by the way, July 31st. It was her
Aw.
second birthday.
They had those cabins sitting over on Stoleport.
They did for a long time. We
Yeah.
saw them. One of the things I think is neat about them is they're fully furnished with most of the furniture and other things like appliances and dishes and stuff from when they were at Fort Wilderness. So kind of cool if you're looking for that piece of Disney history.
I'll tell you, the renovated cabins are incredible. We stayed there twice since they renovated them. We just love it. That's our new favorite. Favorite.
It's awesome.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's awesome.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
Thanks, John. Kevin.
Disney has released a discount for the holidays. You can save up to 20%. Disney Deluxe Villas are 20% off. Disney Deluxe Resorts are 20% off. Moderate Resorts are 15%, and Value Resorts are 10%. I could read you the list of dates, but it's easier to tell you that Veterans Day weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, and this ends at the 23rd. So the 24th
December?
of December.
Wow.
Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are not included. However, it says, for example, when you book a 5-night stay at a Disney Deluxe, you save 20%. That is like getting the 5th night free. Okay. Also, book through October 8th to enjoy this offer. But ask about other great rates at select Disney resorts. I'm sorry, except at select Disney Deluxe Resorts and Disney Deluxe Villas hotels for December 24th and 25th. This special offer is valid for Disney Resorts hotels listed below. So they've extended that discount further than we ever thought they would.
I will say this. Dreams agents have been working to get their clients discounts, and what we're finding is that it's not as good as you think it is.
Right.
Pricing beforehand was actually pretty good. So in some cases, we're talking about clients saving like $14 on their stay. The other thing is availability is very limited. So
There is a caveat. The number of rooms allocated
Right.
for this offer is limited.
So it's going to fill up fast. I believe this is strictly marketing, is what this is. A way to get Disney out there and get some marketing and get some eyes out there that says, oh, look, there's a discount. And then when you go to do it, it might not be as good as you think, but try it.
Well, I'm looking at
I've been trying to look to get a cabin like around Halloween. I was trying last year. I'm trying around Christmas this year.
well,
'cause
right
my
now.
stepmom and dad are
Right
coming.
now, there's
Can't get one.
I'm looking just at middle of October. You can get a cabin
Oh, you can still get it in
at
October?
cabin in Fort Wilderness, $249 a night.
Oh, wow. That's
$83 off retail.
If you try to actually book it, though, see what happens.
right, because I tried the other day for around Halloween, and I know that's a very popular time there, but I tried last year for this year, and I couldn't get it. And the same with like around Christmas, too.
Halloween will definitely fill up a year in advance. Christmas will
Yeah.
fill up a year in advance. If you're flexible, go before it. But so just be aware of that it's not this fantastic discount as good as it sounds, and it's also extremely, extremely limited. But it's out there for sure.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Kathy.
Mine is the Disney Fantasy now has a new concierge level Palo experience. It starts on December the 3rd. You can have, it's for adults only. You can have a cooking and dining experience. It's limited to 8 people. You'll work in the Palo kitchen with guidance from a chef, and then after you prepare your 3-course Italian meal, you get to sit down with the chef and enjoy your meal.
That's cool.
And only 8 people can do this, and it takes place from 10 to 2. On the Eastern Caribbean, it will be on the day the ship is in Tortola, and on the Western Caribbean, it takes place when the ship is in Grand Cayman. And the cost is $279 per person and includes the tips. The experience is limited to 8 guests, ages 18 and up.
Only Disney can get away with making you pay $280 to cook your own food.
It's more like fondue and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
come cook your own food and pay $280 for it.
Yep. But you know it's going to be
Oh,
popular.
very, very popular. Yeah. I'm sure it's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
those cooking experiences are really a lot of fun. So
Awesome. Thank you, Kathy.
Okay, changes and updates have been announced for Tables in Wonderland. They've added 4 new dining locations to the plan. Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar at Disney Springs, the Skipper Canteen at the Magic Kingdom, and Nomad Lounge and Tiffin's at Disney's Animal Kingdom. There's also something...
Well, this is the unprecedented
this
part.
Is it. In addition to a new discount has been available for Tables in Wonderland members through Labor Day, September 5th. With a valid card and a photo ID, guests can get 20% off merchandise at World of Disney at Disney Springs. The discount is not available for online purchases, and certain items might be excluded. This is a first.
I've never
With
seen it. All the
merchandise.
years I've had,
Right.
I've had Tables in Wonderland. Never ever seen them offer that discount.
Also, the percentage. This is better
20.
than annual pass holder.
It
This
is.
is better than Disney Visa card holders. I mean, 20% off is
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
We get our money's worth in like a month with
Oh,
this
absolutely.
card.
Yeah, Tables on Wonderland is still worth it for sure. But the fact, that now that they're offering this discount, it's crazy.
It's insane.
I wonder if they're going to test now a discount merchandise card. I wonder if that's what we're seeing out there is possibly if people are going to be willing to pay $100, $150 for a future merchandise discount.
Could be
Like
interesting.
they are with food.
Could be. Never know. All right. Thanks, Corey. Rhino.
Mine has to do with the new Mary Poppins movie, and it's that there's a rumor right now that Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke are joining the cast. That they are going to be signing on for this, which I would hope that they do, even if it's just a small cameo, at the very least, for the new Mary Poppins Returns film, which is coming out December 2018, starring Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins, and then Lin-Manuel Miranda as her companion Jack, and then Meryl Streep in an unspecified role. What did you just say to me?
I said her companion Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah. She's a time traveler now, too. So, but that's it. Exciting. I always will talk about any Dick Van Dyke related news. So I'm
This
excited.
is being directed by Rob Marshall, and his stuff, he did Into the Woods and he did Chicago. So whether you like those or not, at least they seem to be quality productions. I would
He did
expect nothing.
the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie as well. So he's got
Yeah,
a
we
good
don't hold that against him.
got a good relationship with Disney. So I'm sure he's under some pressure here to deliver.
Well, Into the Woods was a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Rhino. Greg.
Okay, a new animated magic I wrote show, but it's shot, is now available at Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. So basically, they take your on-ride photo that they've been doing now for however long there are years, and now once it shows up in your app, your My Disney Experience app, at the end of the day or however long it takes, and you're wearing your magic band or you touch your park ticket to the scanners, it will add on a special little movie on top of your picture where Buzz Lightyear's shooting lasers at Zurg, and it's similar to what they did at Disneyland with some of their animated pictures. I know.
Are
I don't
you
know if people
actually
out there like them.
Are you in the movie as part of it, or does it just happen
Yeah,
sort of
but
around you?
you're there. It's like that, and then it's the movie's kind of like overlaid on top of your picture. So it's a little awkward because instead of like being a moving picture of you,
You're
it's
frozen.
It's you're just like stopped, and then it's all happening over top of you.
Do that face again.
So
That's his Buzz Lightyear face.
it's exciting if you're into that kind of stuff. Go to Buzz
How long do
Lightyear
you think before they start
Experience.
adding like Snapchat overlays on your face?
They did.
You
They-
get your photo.
I was going
and-
to say they do have Snapchat overlays at Disney.
no, but like on your ride photo, where you can
you can
do
have-
an overlay on your face on the ride
Who knows?
after the fact.
I'll just switch my face up all the time.
Then you're gonna have one
Hey,
with
Mickey
your,
Mouse.
you'll have one with your feet.
I do have one more rapid fire. It's real quick. If you're in town this weekend, August 11th through August 14th, there is a Give Kids the World event. It's the 8th straight year. If you're a reality show fan, go to celebrationtowncenter.com. Reality stars from Amazing Race, Big Brother, and Survivor, they'll be there. Go to the website, check it out if you're in town. I would love to go. We're big reality show fans, but check it out. Donate, Give Kids the World.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Corey. All right, that'll do it for Rapid Fire. We're going to go a little long today because we do have to talk about, at least a little bit, our experience at the newly reopened and reimagined Flying Fish. No longer Flying Fish Cafe. No, I don't know anybody ever called it that, but it's now just Flying Fish at the boardwalk. And, when it went down for rehab in February, I was concerned because I'd come to really like the restaurant. Found it consistent, found the food very good. And I'm not a seafood eater, so that was one of the things I enjoyed was that, if I was with somebody who really liked seafood and wanted good seafood, we could go there and I know that I could get something to eat that was going to be good for me and that I would enjoy. That's not always the case at seafood restaurants. And so I was worried about it. And then, when we heard that, the executive chef that had been there for a while was leaving the company, not just the restaurant, but leaving the company. And a young guy that was his sous chef was Tim Majoris, was being promoted into the executive chef position. It was his first time as executive chef. Made me even more nervous. And I can say definitively, for those who want me to cut to the chase, that there was nothing to be nervous about. Not only is the flying fish in very good hands, it is better, in my opinion, than it ever was. This guy because we literally ate everything on the menu. There were 6 of us, and I think there were 8 entrees and 6 appetizers and similar number of desserts. So we just ordered everything and all tried it. So we all got a chance to sample everything. And the whole focus of the menu is sustainability. It's all, the chef had said that the menu will change frequently based on what's available. That, we're going to, if one type of fish becomes available that's fresher right now, that's what's going on the menu that night.
That's what the wave started out as.
Well, this has been taken, I think this has been taken to even, I don't know. I've never had a meal at the Wave that...
I definitely wouldn't compare this to the Wave.
Yeah.
Well, that was their big thing when they first opened. Everything was going to be sustainable.
Yeah,
and it was going to be locally grown.
They didn't have Chef Tim. This guy's genius with what he did with these dishes. One of the things that I walked away with was the sense that nothing that was put on the plate was there for show. It all looked great, but it all worked together. There was no fluff. It was all there for a reason. Every side, every garnish, everything, when you took it all together, created this certain flavor and this certain experience. Whereas if you're just eating them by themselves, it was different. And almost like every dish was telling a story. And it was art. It was art. Not just how it was presented, how it was prepared. But let's talk about, we'll start with the appetizers. And I'm going to start with you, Craig. What stood out to you on the appetizer list?
Oh, on the appetizer list, it's really like, it comes down to like picking children. But I think for me, the winner has to go, and I know a lot of us would agree that we're there. It would have to go to the yellowfin tuna appetizer.
I have to go with that, and I hate seafood, and this was absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
Corey loved it so much, he had it again for dessert. That's how good it was.
It's a very Bob thing to do.
I enjoy raw fish. I mean, I eat sushi twice a week. This, the way they served it over that watermelon, and then the avocado underneath, it was perfect. It was just incredible.
It's extremely fresh, just perfect flavors.
It was, oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. I agree.
Yeah, but the pork belly.
Then
was
there was
also.
and Corey coined a new phrase after eating the pork belly, meat butter, because it just melted in your mouth. This was a very close second to the tuna, the ahi tuna.
I'm gonna put that first, but it's not my turn yet. I'm gonna put the meat butter first. Though I usually have crispy pork belly. The way this was served, almost served like a steak, and you can just see the fat in there. Oh,
I gotta admit, when you guys posted this picture, at first I thought it did not look appetizing. But I can see what you're saying. Usually pork belly, it's cooked within an inch of its life.
You had that huge crisp on top, and then everything in the middle is very, fatty. Oh, this was... I could put it on a sandwich.
And, well, he told that to the chef. He's like, I want to come back and have this as a sandwich. Chef's like, sure. It's the Korabuta pork belly. It's a shank croquette, a Royal Gala apple slaw, a Bing cherry gastique, and a shirred quail egg on that for $15. Was that the yellowfin tuna with compressed watermelon, citrus, espelette, black cypress, sea salt, and avocado was $17. So, how about you, Rhino? What was your?
It's tough because it's like what you said. Everything was really, really good, but I also really liked those two things. Probably the pork belly just a little bit more than the tuna. The ahi tuna was amazing. On top of that, it was just a texture thing for me with the watermelon and avocado. But these shrimps that we had, they were just like, it's not just shrimp. It was shrimp plated on. I'm not even 100% sure what it was on. There was a sauce that gave it a little bit of a spice, but it was so well breaded. And a lot of time when you get like fried shrimp like that, that breading kind of.
This
light
is
and crispy.
this is
Yeah.
corn encrusted wild Gulf shrimp with spiced hearts of palm, orange supremes, and a piquant aioli for $16.
And it was crispy. It was just the right amount of everything in there. I thought it was excellent. I'd get it again. Well, I'd get almost everything we got again in a heartbeat.
Kathy?
I like the fact that we shared everything.
That was
I
fun.
didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I hated that. I'm just kidding.
But I
Corey
had
did prison arm.
I had the chance to try some things I would never usually have.
Yeah.
And I says everything that was on the plate was very good. And I said the yellowfin tuna, I thought I wasn't a fan of like sushi, but the way that was all presented together, that was delicious.
That was amazing,
and
right?
I would have that as an appetizer if I went back.
I will get that if I go back. When I go back.
Yeah, and I said the shrimp. I mean, I don't think there was any appetizer that fell down. They were all good.
There was the peaches and prosciutto, which I tried. It's not that the prosciutto was very good. The peaches were very good. It just didn't go together for me.
Oh, really?
It just didn't go together. It didn't create a flavor that appealed to me. But I know what was funny by ordering everything and everybody kind of trying everything. What one person didn't like, someone else did.
Yeah.
So I won't say there was anything bad on the table. There was nothing that was like, wow, this, the quality of the product was incredibly high, and you could tell that with everything that was served, that they were doing definitely high quality meats, high quality fish, high quality fruit, vegetables, all their produce, everything. So same with the mesclun salad. Very good, but it's a salad. $12.
But I would say if you're going with people, because I saw people say, well, I'm not really a seafood fan, I would suggest if you're going with a group of people, maybe order a few appetizers and let everybody try it, because I came away with a different opinion on some of this stuff that I would
Agreed.
never try. And like you said, you thought you didn't like seafood, but you had a great seafood appetizer.
That restaurant, that experience made me question that. Made me question, do I really not like seafood? I don't know. I don't know. It's probably not done like that everywhere.
People change though. I mean, you change your app. Your.
But there
your
was a
taste.
couple of things. One of the things that really surprised me that I tasted that I never thought I would was part of the Tour of the Coast appetizer, which is one of the signature dishes. Local middle neck clams, rock shrimp, icy blue mussels, Florida Coast grouper cheek, and celeriac puree for $18. It was the grouper cheek that I tasted and thought, oh my God, this is incredible. It was fish butter. It just melted in your mouth and was absolutely, and I'm like, oh, it's cheek. It's like the cheek of something. And I'm going to, it's not appetizing to me. And it's fish to boot. But I was willing to try it. I also did not care for the blue crab bisque. But that's because I had the blue crab bisque before the sherry was added, the aged sherry.
Right.
And from those, because, obviously it's not cooked off, so I'm not going to have it. But for those who ate it before the sherry and then had it after, said the sherry made all the difference in the world. Again, all of these things go together for a reason. So now, Corey, you said the pork belly.
I'm gonna list my top 7. For me, it's the pork belly 1, yellowfin tuna 2nd, and then the shrimp, and then the bisque, in that order. Everything else kind of just, I would eat it, but they kind of fell
So
after those.
All right, let's talk about the main course. On order, we got all of it. Bison strip loin, free range chicken, Maine lobster Nero pasta, Ocean's Bounty sustainable fish, plancha seared Hokkaido scallops. Am I saying that right? A Wagyu filet mignon, and wild Alaskan king salmon. Now, one of the things that you will notice when you look at this menu is it is expensive. You're talking about the cheapest dish being $35, and that's the free-range chicken. The most expensive one being the
lobster.
The lobster, the Maine lobster Nero pasta, that was $59. The filet mignon is $58, for example. So these are not inexpensive items. However, it's kind of an Adventures by Disney thing, where you look at the price, go, oh my God, that's ridiculous. And then you have the experience, and you're like, okay, very much worth it. Same thing with this. Trust me. Look at the prices, go, wow, this is expensive, but then you'll have it and go, okay, it was absolutely worth it.
Those prices are online with any signature.
I think they're a little bit higher.
I would see.
There's usually
them with Narcoosee. I'd put them with what's the steak? Yachtsman.
But usually you'll find a couple of dishes that are a little bit lower. So if somebody wants to go have the experience in the restaurant but not spend that kind of money, you really don't have that option here. When your free range chicken is $35, that's expensive.
And it is on the dining plan, and it's 2 dining credits.
So this is one of those restaurants where your dining plan will be a great deal, because you're really getting great food, and the prices are up there.
And you can valet for free. You get it. You save $25 there.
Yeah. So, well, not on the dining plan.
Oh no, I'm
Tables
sorry.
in
Tables in Wonderland. That's what I'm thinking of. Never mind.
So Rhino, we'll start with you. Entrees.
I think my favorite thing that I had was the bison. It was just there was like the sauce that was with it, and it gave it just the right amount of spice, and the meat was just perfectly cooked, and I don't know, it was beautiful to look at. I also really, really enjoyed there was a salmon dish, because I'm usually, that's my go-to fish dish, but
I think that was the sustainable fish that night.
Yeah, I think so. And it was served on some kale and then some white lentil.
Yes.
I believe. Yeah, he said that it was a little. The fish was cooked great. It was all great together, but it was a big texture thing. I talked to the chef about it, where I said I loved how the textures all came together, because the kale with the lentils and the fish just had this. It just had this experience that it was flavor and texture, and I reacted to it really well. And he said, well, that's how it was conceptualized too.
Right.
It was experience. It's like what you said. It's a whole story. So everything is supposed to go together. At the same time.
And it really does.
Yeah, it was.
It's not just like marketing stuff.
No.
I mean, it really actually does all go together.
Absolutely, every single thing. But those were my 2 tops. I think it's hard to pick. They were also good too.
How about for you, Craig?
The bison was out of this world. It was absolutely phenomenal, but I was torn between that and then the octopus with the
face
fish.
hugger.
Yeah, it was such a unique dish. I mean, you have octopus a lot of places, but this was like one complete tentacle.
Yeah, that was a big
just
piece.
circled around the plate, and then it just circled more fishy goodness
Which is
and a little
disturbing.
bit of shrimp and other fillers in the middle, and it was a very hearty dish. This was one that I was glad that we were all sharing it, because if I would have ordered it by myself, I would have had a hard time putting it all down. It was very heavy, but just absolutely phenomenal. But the bison was still, it was one of a kind. It was very good.
What surprised me about the bison is anytime I've ever had bison, it's been gamey. It has that gamey, and I don't know why.
Properly aged.
When they age it right, marinated or treated, whatever they did,
Yeah.
there was absolutely no game to this bison. It was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. What about you, Kathy?
I enjoyed all the seafood things. The scallops were very delicate and cooked perfectly. Didn't have a fishy taste to it. They were very good. I enjoyed the octopus. I would have never ordered octopus myself, but the piece, nice sized piece that I had, was very good. And the salmon, I thought was very good. So everything that I tried was just great. And like everybody else has said, everything works together, so you had to make sure you took a little bit of everything
Yeah.
on the plate.
Yeah.
Corey?
I'm a Wagyu fan, so that kind of
Wagyu was amazing.
that went in front of me. Mainly, I wish it was bigger, but I say that about any sort of meal I get in front of me. So that would be my first choice. But I also enjoyed the bison. Me particularly, I like to cut my own meat. So when it's served to you already sliced, I feel like I'm on a cruise ship. I would like to slice it myself and do what I do. But then I enjoy the scallops. I know that scallops aren't, you get 4. It's not a lot of food and you pay a lot of money for it, but it was very tasty. And then what else did I like? I did like the salmon too. I like it more medium rare to rare, but with all the stuff that accompanied it, it was wonderful. You didn't really need to get it cooked to temp. I can keep going, but no,
What was the other whitefish that was on the menu?
Oh,
Chicken.
Cod.
No, wasn't it halibut?
Yeah, the halibut. The
Halibut.
halibut was wonderful as well too. I mean, flying fish, you'd expect good fish. You're gonna get good fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he sourced it out from like the best places. Apparently.
Yeah,
So-
is for the sustainability to it. It didn't have to necessarily be Florida fresh and local. He flat out told us if I have to go to the Pacific or Canada or anywhere to get what I need for my menu, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
So, what did you like?
For me, the Wagyu filet mignon was out of this world. I agree. I would have preferred a larger piece.
How many ounces was it? Does it say?
I was thinking it was a 6 ounce.
6, yeah.
So it was a smaller piece.
Small.
But in contrast, I had a Wagyu New York strip the week before at Yachtsman that was $125. And it was like this special grade of Wagyu, and I'm not exaggerating, it came with a certificate of authenticity and the stamp of the hoof print of the cow it came from was brought to my table.
Pictures of the virgins who massaged it.
And it was delicious. Don't get me wrong. It was very, very good. This blew it out of the water. And this had no certificate of authenticity or hoof print came with it, but at half the price.
That's a little pretentious.
At $58. At $58, I feel like I got a much better steak. And that one was very, very good. Because when I had that steak, I said, okay, this may very well be the best steak I've ever tasted. Then I had this. I'm like, okay, it's been topped.
The fact that they needed to provide you with a certificate of authenticity makes me put
on my
everything else in
father,
doubt.
I swear to
They have
God.
like 8 varieties of hoof stamps in the back. All right,
Right.
he's a regular. We got to switch it
I
up.
mean, when I go to Five Guys, there's a sign on the wall that tells me where the potatoes were grown. And I think that's a little goofy. Coming with paperwork and a hoof print.
Right?
I've never been to a restaurant where they
okay,
felt the
it
need to
was
do that.
The yachtsman that did that, not Flying Fish. Just want to make that clear for everybody. I felt that this Wagyu at half the price was a superior piece of steak. Like I said, I would have liked a larger piece. That would be my only complaint. But in terms of flavor, in terms of preparation, just absolutely out of this world. And the chicken, conceivably the most boring item on the menu, was very good. I felt it could have been spiced a little bit better. It was kind of okay. When taken with everything on the plate, again, it worked really well. This, I thought, would have benefited from a sauce of some kind.
Sometimes the chicken is the safe dish.
right. It's like you
Sometimes
have to have that.
Right.
Well, you
Somebody
have
in the
that-
party's not adventurous enough to eat something else.
Exactly. Well, you have the it says Genovese. That was not a pesto. I think it's a pesto around the side, but there was a sauce, a bed of sauce on it. It just wasn't enough.
See the thing that goes around the plate? I hate that.
That was pesto.
I don't care what it was. I hate it.
It's presentation.
We need more cowbell.
So again, you're talking about. Did I get everybody's entrees? I think so. You're talking about these entrees ranging from $35 to about $60. So, and then dessert. I don't think we have the full list of desserts here. Do we? Do we have cherries, peaches, and seashells?
No.
Yes,
we did. It was the thing with the cheesecake, right? That was the thing with the cherries.
Yeah, cherries. It's
Right
the
there.
mascarpone cream with Georgia peaches, cherries, hibiscus meringue,
Hibiscus.
and rye bourbon caramel.
Sounds like an adult
That's why we
film.
didn't.
He's
That's why we
developed an
didn't like the
accent.
cheesecake. It wasn't cheesecake.
What did you say? Did you say rye bourbon?
Rye bourbon caramel.
You know that's rye bourbon, right?
I know.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Bourbon.
Because you are the person who brought us posthumous.
Other people say it.
And look what you did. Yeah, so the cherries, peaches, and seashells, as Craig just described, that was $10. Chocolate banana Napoleon, which was also $10. Something called the Florida Reef, which was actually
my God,
very,
amazing.
very good. Lemon tart, toasted meringue, a Florida citrus salad, red ruby grapefruit, and a sorbet for $9. Panna Carpa, which was a strawberry lime consomme, a rhubarb, buttermilk, buttermilk panna cotta, basil sugar, $10. I am not a fan of panna cotta at all. I think it's disgusting.
Me too.
This was out of this world. This was so good.
This was my favorite.
That strawberry rhubarb mix thing. Oh my God, it was so good. And then Under the Sea, this was a really creative dessert, and I think everybody loved this. Valrhona Manjari chocolate, chocolate
that
coral
one.
sponge, a pistachio sand, which was a running theme through a lot of
Yeah.
these dishes. This pistachio
It
sand,
was really good.
dehydrated milk foam, and
This is
tasting
it.
of 3 sea salts for $12. This was so incredibly good. The
It was.
chocolate was phenomenal in this. So
He said it was like 95 or 98% cocoa or something
95,
like that.
yeah.
So if because I took a bite and I was like, "Woof, this is rich," and that's what he told me, the server. So
favorite dessert? Rhino.
Oh, easy. The reef. I like key lime, and the filling inside of that dome was just
Yep.
it was perfect.
I'm right there with you on that
Yeah.
one. The Florida Reef was my favorite.
Yeah.
They were all very good. I had
Oh,
no
they
bad
were.
desserts.
No.
That was my favorite. Kathy,
The Under the Sea, the chocolate one.
the chocolate one. Craig?
Oh, mine was probably the panna carpa. Although I took the first bite of it and I instantly said out loud, John would absolutely hate this.
It was wobbly, wasn't it?
It was so wiggly
It's
wobbly
Fleming, yeah.
on the spoon. You would have been throwing up probably.
Just looking at it gives me the willies.
It was
So
so
far
good.
in this meal, you've mentioned two things that I couldn't even sit at the table. That octopus thing, that gives me the
Oh, I'd
skeeves.
wear that as a necklace.
And this one had, one of them had grapefruit on it.
So, in total, with my 20% Tables in Wonderland discount, we also have to talk about,
A cheese plate.
there was a cheese plate, but then there were these cocktails.
Oh yeah.
Now, I, of course, did not partake of any of the alcoholic variety of cocktails. So, when Craig got his first time in a while that a cocktail made me want to take a drink, was that maple bacon martini you had?
Yeah, well, it was a maple bacon
Manhattan.
So
Maple peach bacon.
maple peach
Ma-
bacon.
Yeah, that was-
So yeah, it was. Sorry, I don't have a photo of it because I only took a video because they did a nice little pour in front of me at the table. But it was a piece of candied bacon and a peach on the rim, and then the Manhattan, the bourbon in it was perfectly flavored with that little bit of peachiness and maple to it. It was phenomenal. It was probably the best mixed drink I've had on Disney property.
The point I want to make is that the same creativity that has gone into this menu has been carried over to the bar. This is what really impressed me, though. Rhino, what was the drink you had with dessert?
It was so the chef brought out, or the server brought us out the dessert menu, and it had dessert cocktails on there, and one of them was a frozen, I can't remember the name, it had freeze and peanut butter in it. So immediately I was like, "Whoa, it's a peanut butter drink."
Peanut
I
butter
want it.
freeze.
And various
Yeah.
liqueurs.
Yeah, so I love there was because it was there was like a chocolate liqueur, a banana liqueur,
Bailey's.
Kahlua. Oh, you're reading it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Creme de cacao.
Yeah, so lots of stuff, and I said, "Well, I gotta get this," and then I peanut butter drink. So Pete's like, "Oh man, I really want that."
And yeah, so I was like, this is when it sucks to not drink. Really doesn't.
I inhaled
really
that
love
drink, though.
being sober, but I was like, ugh. And I said to the waiter jokingly, "Can you make that for me without alcohol?" He's like, "Absolutely." And they brought me one without alcohol. And I'm going to tell you something. Oh my God, it
Yeah.
was
It
was
so
really good.
Delicious.
It was so good.
It's just
I just, blown away by the whole experience. It's early. The restaurant just reopened. We have to give them time to
Mess up.
And I don't think the chef will. I want to be really clear. I don't think that if anything goes wrong, it'll be the chef messing up. I think what'll happen is what we've seen happen to countless places at Disney property. They start off strong, they become successful, and then they want to soak more money out of it. So they lower the quality of the product and raise the prices, and that kills the restaurant. We've seen it happen numerous times. I really hope that does not happen here. Craig and I were talking at one point during the meal, and we're trying to compare it to other experiences at Disney World. And the only place that we could really come up with to honestly compare it to wasn't at Disney World. It was at Disneyland. It was Napa Rose. It was that same kind of meal you get at Napa Rose. And while this guy is young and definitely has a future in front of him, I think in 5 years, he's our Andrew Sutton. I think if he can be allowed to keep doing this guy knows what he's doing. And everything that came out of his kitchen was superb. If it wasn't to my personal taste, it was certainly to the taste of other people. Not one dish came to that table, and we ordered everything on the menu. Not one dish came to the table that was universally panned. Not one. Among the 6 of us.
I just want to point out, too, that we do have an interview with him on our YouTube channel if they want to check that out. There's also the vlog of our dining experience where you can see us enjoying the meals in person.
We were also broadcasting live during the meal on our Diz Unplugged Facebook page, facebook.com/DizUnplugged. It's...
I'd also say that if you're a solo traveler, you can always go in and just sit at the bar without a reservation.
The bar is beautiful there.
It really is. I mean, I did that when we stayed at the boardwalk. Julie and the kids were asleep, and I had to go have a late night snack. And so I went in there, and you just walk in, and I'd rather not sit at a table by myself. I might as well sit at a bar and talk to other people. But you can order the entire menu from the bar.
And I will say this, that I'm guessing by December, this is going to be a tough reservation again.
Oh, yeah.
The word's going to get out on this place. If it keeps this, especially if it keeps this consistency, it's going to be a very hard reservation to get. And so I would, if you are planning a trip, if you're within your window to book ADRs, book it. Book it. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. This is a great restaurant. Amazing when you consider the addition of the Abracadabra bar, which is awesome, which is right next door. It's the lounge in between Flying Fish and the Trattoria, which I had an experience at the Trattoria when we were staying at the boardwalk for the mega meet, and I thought that was delicious. So some really good eateries on the boardwalk right now, but this is their crown jewel.
And they do have a kids menu, and you can dress in park attire or you can dress up for this place. It's not... I saw the lady at the desk ask a gentleman to remove his ball cap, but other than that...
That's common, though, in the
yeah,
signature
but I mean,
restaurants.
It wasn't too fancy. You could go in park clothes and
Absolutely.
enjoy.
One other thing to mention, too, for people who ate there before, at the chef's counter, it's no longer there. Now they actually added a whole section of chef's tables. So
But that hasn't been released yet.
Yeah.
I mean, right now there's just general seating. Eventually, they're going to make that area.
Exactly.
He said they'll make that the chef's tables, but that has not been released yet. So, but absolutely 100% go to Flying Fish. So just to let people know, with my 20% Tables in Wonderland discount, there were bottles of wine ordered, there were cocktails. We ordered every item on the menu with the 20%. Bill was $750.
For 6 people, that's really good.
That's really good,
Well,
right?
I mean, we had enough food for at least like 8 to
And
9.
With
maybe
wine
10.
and cocktails,
Yeah.
that's really good.
So you're figuring, figure on $100 a person, which again, for, is expensive, but I'll tell you something. For me, I thought it was worth every penny. I thought the quality of it, the artistry that went into it, the flavors, everything. It was an experience. It wasn't going out having a nice meal. This was a culinary
The
experience.
fact that we ordered everything on the menu.
Yeah.
And we ordered everything on the menu.
But
and
then
like
you
I
ordered
said,
more,
Nothing was
Yeah.
not one thing was universally disliked. As a matter of fact, not one thing was disliked by more than maybe 2 people. So I really can't recommend it highly enough. And I really hope you guys get to go over there and check it out and tell us what you think.
A
'Cause
couple of places we've got to get to. We just haven't had the time.
no, it's so busy jetting around.
I know.
So, all right, that is going to do it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with you again next week with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And remember, stay out of the damn lakes. Have a good week.